The other whales are not as nice as I am. You see, the Earth is hollow. The entrance to the hollow Earth lies between two mountains on Antarctica.
Woman got 18-inch long critters out of her that were so thick she couldn't get them into a top of a juice bottle.
This is after a surgery. They remove one from someone completely head. Look at how he looked like.
Is this a real brill?
Who was consuming mummies, a lot of them believe it heals them from ailments. Some use it also, they said it's going to give them clairvoyance, superpower ability to project astral projections, and also they believe by consuming the mummies is going to make them closer with the essence of the god.
Vril is life force energy. We have a word for it called chi, prana. It's essential.
You better lock in and buckle up, bucko, because you're in for another creepy and scary TikTok reaction video. You want to be careful on these disturbing, scary waters because they might just change your reality. If you haven't already, please slap that like button and let's dive into tonight's video. Remember, this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. It's up to us to distinguish fact from fiction and do your own research on everything. Without further ado, let's dive in.
They take pictures of the parasites that get out of you on these different deworming programs. Woman got 18-inch long critters out of her that were so thick she couldn't get them into a top of a juice bottle. They're usually translucent, they're usually white, and there's some of them that look like tarantula spiders, some of them look like grasshoppers, some of them look like little tiny miniature sailboats, some of them look like little spacecraft.
This is truly going to blow your mind. It'll change the way that you view health altogether. This guy looked through these books from the 1800s and he noticed they all had parasite cleansers.
And what did they know back then? What were they doing? Guessing? I started finding books that were published by doctors through the 1800s, books that they read and books that they learned from. And lo and behold, out of every single book were deworming programs, parasite programs. For doctors in those days did autopsies and they found parasites. And I looked at that and I got a hold of doctors and they said, no, we don't have parasites today. So we started to search for parasite programs just to see what was going on, to see if maybe something was happening that we really didn't understand. So I did myself first. And lo and behold, I got 8 and 10-inch critters out of me. They were white. First of all, they were in the toilet water and they were all bunched up. I thought it was mucus. Until, just for a curiosity, I threw some hot water in the toilet to warm it up and then went and gosh, they strung out and they were swimming all over. We're now doing pictures in color out of clinics where you go potty on a special pot with a screen in it and they take pictures of the parasites that get out of you on these different deworming programs. Yeah, this is really strange stuff. I have never yet dewormed anyone where they didn't tell me, hey, I feel 25% better. Time you got halitosis, you're loaded, because that's worm urine and worm droppings that you're breathing out. So it's no wonder your breath's bad. When they pee, that's called ammonia. So just go to a doctor, have a blood test, and see what level of ammonia is in your blood. If you have ammonia in your blood, that's called worm urine. You get a headache. You got the headache because the worms are all peeing, trying to get you to eat something else. They're trying to make you sick so you'll get off of what you're doing and start eating. So you take some arginine and orthodine, and in a matter of 20 minutes, if the headache's gone, you've neutralized the worm urine and you know that you're loaded. All children that have little tiny pimples on the backs of their arms or little tiny pimples here on the edges of their cheeks have 5 varieties of critters in them. 5 varieties. It's time to deworm, and it's time to get them out. And they take pictures of the parasites that get out.
Damn. Parasites up in you, you didn't even know. Man, I just was in the sauna, so hopefully I boiled a couple out. But oh my God, that is some creepy stuff. to deworm. Kind of reminds me of the vril. Oh, you don't know what the vril is?
Donald Marshall, the G, has been exposing viral reptilians, and here's what they actually look like. Watch until the end to see a picture of it going in the human eye. This is just mind-blowing, literally. As Donnie says, once it goes in through the human eye, that person dies and becomes a human drone. This is why you should never, ever sell your soul for fame or stardom, as this could happen to you.
Is this a real vril? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Is this a real vril? Controlling people that they don't even know. Look at the eye. All in the eye. Ugh.
We are. You see, the earth is hollow. In the center, you'll find enough failure for all of us. The other rails are not as nice as I am. They hate your kind. The entrance to the hollow earth lies between two mountains on Antarctica.
Entrance.
What movie is this?
Hollow Earth. Okay. And once I'm down there?
You find the city of Agatha. In the middle of the city lies a temple where they keep the Aurelia. In a simple vessel called the Holy Grail. A long time ago, we arrived on this planet after a very long journey. Our ship was heavily damaged. But we were in luck. We had found a planet with air and water and life. My fool of a brother was in charge. He ordered us to try and make contact with the locals. I told him it was a mistake. Of course, I was proven right. We were the only intelligent creatures on the planet. It was ours. We studied the flora and fauna, while the others obsessed over big game. I focused on the small. A new order had arisen, the primates. Then, I did something I knew my brother would never understand. I stole some of our precious Aurelia and gave it to my two favorites, Adam and Eve. I could have waited, let nature take its course. But why not give evolution a nudge? But I learned soon that the paradise was doomed. What do you want? I need you to bring my people here. followers, only the jobsists. We of all people appreciate what you've done here. We will maintain it in perfect harmony. Psst. Maps. Destination, home.
Calculating directions to home. Route planned.
That explains a lot. The dark side of the moon.
That movie had some gems in it, didn't it? Besides the monkey part. But hey, y'all tell me y'all thoughts below.
Get so bad that people lose confidence in their elected leaders, they will demand change if we don't kill each other in the process or destroy the environment. I'm just afraid that we might get to the point of no return. And that bothers me no end. We do all we can to avoid that condition. The in-group will do all it can to stay in power. And that's what you got to keep in mind. They'll use the Army and Navy and lies or whatever they have to use to keep in power. They're not about to give it up because they don't know of any other system that will perpetuate their kind.
Real is the reptilian way, mind control is their game.
What do you want?
Real is the reptilian way, mind control is their game.
Oh my god. This is real, man. what can you do to protect yourself? Maybe that's why they took away the bells, because maybe they couldn't handle them vibrations. That's all I got, guys.
Because I read the script and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart were already attached, and I was like, these characters are jumping off the page. And my role, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the most popular girl in high school. For some reason, I know how to play that. And then it was such a hit. It was way bigger than I even anticipated. And now, I think we're going to make part 2. I think you have to. I think you, like, have to. If you try to walk away and they clone you. Because I read the script and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh no, they got Iron Man too? Oh no. They got y'all boy Kanye. Got y'all boy Kanye. Some of y'all say I look like him. Stop it. Couldn't play this video of Bob Marley's song about Vril and reptilians, so we're gonna improvise a little bit, y'all. Buckle up, bucko! Hypocrites and parasites will come up and take a bite. Will come up and take a bite. And if your night should turn to day, a lot of people would run away. Alright, this one says the Vril has left the planet and the firmament is open.
It's one that's sovereign the planet.
Creep on it, on it, on it.
Alright, this one says the Vril has left the planet and the firmament is open. We gotta see this.
It's one that's sovereign the planet.
Creep on it, on it, on it.
It's one that's sovereign the planet.
Creep on it.
Talking about the strain, okay? They put it out there for you. They put this shit in your face because, you know, this is how they got to always escape karma, because what you call karma is literally the universe said, look, you're taking advantage out of people that don't know, I have to punish you for that reason. But guess what? They put it as a form of entertainment. They have to tell you the truth, so they get away with it by telling you the truth. Shout out to you, Divine. So since they're putting the truth in your face, guess what? They're going to get away with karma now, because karma feel like, okay, they balance it. They put it out there. So if you don't want to believe it, it's on you, but Mother Nature know, hey, we try to tell them. So these elite families that you want to call reptilian, they are not from other planets. These are people that practice a cult. They're from a cult because they try to understand certain things. And by doing that, they develop their own system of doing shit. And from doing so, remember, these are elite people. They have a tons of money. They have, like, what you call endless possibility of doing things. So from their little circle, they have traditions of practice. Now, this traditions of what you saw here, this is what they want to call the Vril, okay? Anybody know about the Vril? This is how they initiated you. So if you join their club, this is a part of initiations. They're going to put one of these smart worms, as they show it to you in the show. If you want to become one of them, they have to put the smart worm on you, okay? Let me show you the smart worm. they have to put this shit out there because, you know, that's the point, okay? That's the smart worm. So understand, all of these things, it's ancient stuff they develop because they themselves trying to put themselves in a position of power. Because all of it has to do with the mummies, okay? This practice starts with the mummies. When they start to consume these mummies, a lot of them develop infections from consuming the mummies in Egypt. It was not only in Egypt, here in the Grand Canyon. Matter of fact, most of these mummies was consuming here. Because not only they were moving stuff, they were hiding stuff. So this was like a stash for them. So these elite people was consuming, show to know what I'm talking about. The strain.
Did he just say the elite people were consuming mummies? Oh my God. Is that how the Vril got created? I don't know. Drop y'all thoughts below on that. Y'all got to explain that one to me. That is, why are they eating the mummies? I don't even know if I want to dive into this. Ugh.
Who was consuming mummies, a lot of them believe it heals them from ailments. Some use it also, they said it's going to give them clairvoyance, superpower ability to project astral projections, and also they believe by consuming the mummies is going to make them closer with the essence of the god, because, you know, the underworld, so they believe that a piece of the essence of the pharaohs, of our ancestors, going to lead them to vibrate the same energy, the same frequency as them, since they consume them. And that was the belief. If you consume a god, you will become a god. These are the things they were talking about. So now what you see in here, this is what you call the smart worms. That's where they are. And all of this has to do with infection. Okay? So this is all infection. So you develop an infection because whatever you are consumed is not doing good within your body, because you are taking literally dead flesh and you consume it, so your bodies develop these infections. And these entities, everything about you, what you call worm are entities, okay? Any living organism inside of you, they are entities. They carry a frequency. They carry a mind side effect. Exactly. Every bacteria, they have a sequence, okay? So remember, bacteria have a sequence, and each of these sequences play a role in your cells and your bloodstreams. And a lot of these entities that we want to call cells, shout out to you, Greta. So all of these things also have behaviorism patterns. It take a part of your behavior. It eventually can influence your patterns of thought, okay? So this is what you call the reptilian brain. Once you start to have too many outside entities, to be exact, parasites, they are the one that's taking over the part of your brain that limits intruder frequencies. Now understand, we all have the reptilian brain, right? But the reptilian brain needs to have trigger points. Now, what makes us different, because remember, each of a part of our brain, what we call the reptilian brain, this is what you call a module, okay? It's a regulator. Who was consuming mummies design, our creator create this module just to limit our flight mode. Now understand, what makes us humans is the ability to connect with other things. So what we call the civil aspect, the morality aspect, things that don't make you become an animal. This was what you call the modulator that keeping you from becoming an animal itself. That is what you call the reptilian brain. What they call the reptilian brain, once again, is a module that calculates your behavior. So once you have enough bacteria in you, you have enough of these worms, enough of these foreign entities that take over your body, guess what? The brain, the reptilian brain, only tell you, look, with this amount of intoxication, with this amount of these chemicals, these entities that's inside of you, since you don't cleanse, since these entities taking over you, guess what? You cannot be in your normal brain anymore. So that means you got to operate in what? In your reptilian brain. That means that is the part now that become active. That's when you become what? An animal. So you no longer human. You become the animal version. That is what the reptilian brain is acting. once you have all these parasites occupy or pretty much infested your body, where your body said, look, shit, too much of these things, or these things, you never get rid of them. They take over the control of these modules, and guess what? The reptilian brain is activated. Now, this is who these people are. Okay? This is what they've been doing for a long time, and you couldn't tell them nothing because they are untouchable. Who gonna tell these so-called elite people they never understand struggle, they've never been to the struggle? All they know is yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. Nobody gonna challenge them for shit. And they develop their own little crew, their own little circle, and they are most likely the little losers because they don't get exposed with people. They're not around people, so they are very secluded. And for them, since they have power and access and money, they give that shit their own name. So, they create their own little society by doing those degenerate activities. So now from these worms being developed, they believe this worm is a part of them now. And from doing that, they feel like initiation, design, our creator create.
Damn, that's it. Man, this reminds me of that movie District 9. You guys ever seen that?
There's also a cool theory that, so this fuel turns you into a prawn. What if all the prawns, that's not their actual original being? Maybe that's not their actual life form or bodies. Maybe they use this prawn fuel technology to change their bodies during space travel or some other reason.
like an organic exosuit.
Yeah, kind of like that. So maybe that's not even what they look like, which is why would they even have technology that reverses the effect of the prawn suit and the prawn being? So maybe they don't even look like that. Maybe they look more like us if they had the technology done on themselves to reverse it. There's
right. Basically, watch this small quick part.
You're right, Chris.
Basically, I'm not gonna ruin the movie for you, but aliens get trapped on Earth, and there's a lot of strict rules. And this dude, he's searching through their apartment, and look how crazy they look. That's what the aliens look like. He's going through their stuff, and look what happens. He gets infected. Now, I'm not going to ruin the entire movie because it's been a while since I mentioned it, since I've seen it. But definitely check this movie out. Could this be an analogy of the real District 9? Shout out to the angry chief. Looks like he's dropping more heat on this whole real reptilian situation. So let's check it out.
Hollywood fabricate this reptilian and this so-called evil eating people shit. They did that. Not reality. Let me say this shit again. Hollywood create this nonsense that we are operating in. This is a 90s shit, right? Equal V. It was dope. I remember my mom, my mom would not lose us episode for you. Okay? That was a guy named Donovan. Donovan was the guy that my mom had a crush on. Donovan. Man, I was a baby. I still remember that shit. Just make it make sense. But anyway, this is the beginning of this reptilian phenomenon. Because that show was the pop culture that gave birth with a lot of children that's born with parents that was a fanatic of this show and they truly believe it was truly real. This is where the caps start. Now let me explain furthermore to show you how the real shit happened. This is the real reptilian that's causing harm, folks. This is the real reptilian. Let me show you this. Okay? Let's just start with this. You see what you're looking at here, people? This is bacteria. This is living entity that your eyes could not catch. This is under a microscope. These are the living entities. That is the silent predators that's doing this shit to us. And you think they are exactly, they are inside of us. These are the reptilians. This is what Carson not telling you. This is what Billy Carson's not gonna tell you. This shit is not as hard as you think. But it requires a humanity. It requires the simplicities of life. It required the truth to be told, not entertain ideas that furthermore push humanity into fear and furthermore push humanity into chaos. Now ask yourself this. Why they don't tell you the real reptilian is this? You want to know why they're not telling you this is what the real reptilian is? Yeah, parasites. Because if you truly know this is the real reptilian, Hollywood people, the mummy again. Folks, exactly, real. Now listen now, I'm gonna get there with y'all. See, my people smart. My people smart. People, they were eating these mummies. These so-called elite, parasitical elite of today, because they want to become us, because they don't come from the consciousness, they don't come from the knowledge. So they're assuming by eating the flesh or by eating the mummies, because it was very, popular in Europe. They just literally eating mummies. They develop an infection. Let me say this shit again. By eating the mummies, they develop an infections. So these infection is worm. Yo, listen, man, you ain't gonna get this knowledge nowhere, man. This knowledge is too much for people. This is the ancestors using me to drop the knowledge on y'all. Since the Egypt mania, they was eating the mummies. You have billionaires going all over and collecting bodies and consume them. Within the process of consuming these bodies, they catch infections. And these infections is worm coming out of their body parts. Okay? So now these infections end up giving birth to these worms. Okay? That's these worms that shit end up giving birth to. And guess what? They create, because remember, all of the so-called scumbag, they belong to a hierarchy. They belong to a club. So within their club, they understand if one of them, because the club is trying to emulate Egypt. They're trying to just duplicate Egypt within their own practice. So if you know whatever they practice, based on their practice, they want to do their own shit. So they come up with their own shit. Let me show you something. For some of the people up in here, I'm going to show you something else. You guys let me see, damn, this picture might not be able to be here. You guys know about Aleister Crowley, okay? So you guys knew what Crowley was trying to do. You guys knew what Madame Blavatsky was trying to do. All of these people is literally people that Crowley was trying to do. You guys knew what Madame Blavatsky was trying to do. All of these people is literally people that trying to learn something that they don't come from. But at least Blavatsky, this is Blavatsky. Blavatsky was biracial, okay? So these are people in the occult system. They're trying to understand something that they don't come from. But they have the blood, but the blood doesn't mean that they come from the tradition 100%. So for that reason, they trying to emulate something and still put their own touch into it. So this is why now, after you done eating those mummies from different areas, now infections start to ravage most of them. They develop an infection. And after they died, just like any one of us, if we died today and we got buried, a lot of maggots gonna come out of our body. It's mostly maggots that gonna eat up our flesh and we're gonna be only bone. So what you saw here, they call vril, is nothing but a maggot style of a parasite. Let me say this again. What you call the vril is nothing but a maggot style of a parasite. So within this parasite, they actually splicing it. They cross-breeding the parasite with other things. Because when you're looking at ancient Egypt, there's a lot of shit that's out there we don't know that they know themselves. That's why they hide the knowledge from us. So using this parasite, now they allow this parasite to live in a real human body. Let me say this again. See, our body, to be healthy, parasite would not be able to live in that body. Because there's a level of frequency that your body automatically have. That's why once you sick, it's called dis-ease. Your body dis-ease. That means that's a disbalance. So your frequency got a bit lower, so parasitical entity can live on, because now your body's not radiated to a resonance where they themselves could not sustain, so they will not be able to be in you. But since you operate in a lower frequency, then these entities can actually live on, because your body is like a planetary system. So you are a living organism yourself. So all of these maggots, that's why once you die, your body just start to So all of these maggots, that's why once you die, your body just start to defecate, and a lot of maggots start to come out of your body and eat it up. Well, what you call this reptilian things is none other than a maggot that they evolved. And that maggot, they call it vril. And they literally let this shit penetrate your left eye. They let this shit penetrate your ocular system. Okay, let me show it to you. They let this shit penetrate your ocular system. This is how this shit look under the microscope. That is your reptilian. Let me show it to you again. Now, you see this? That is all these parasites under the microscope. And guess what? They all look like snake. This is your reptilian. And now, this upgrade version of a maggot, this is how it look. And that, my friend, is your reptilian. Now, after these things live inside of you for a while, you don't get rid of it. That thing get comfortable in you, because right now, if anybody's sick, they told you got parasite, they subscribe you medications to get rid of them. Or you stop doing certain things to get rid of them. But if you don't get rid of them, they make a home into yourself. We have people right now that have pretty much maggot living in their body. There's this dude that been having maggot living inside of his ear. You have this dude that have maggot that literally make a big hole in his face. And this maggot been living like for weeks and months on that person's face until they pull and pluck this maggot out. This is the same process. So these entities, these little creature maggot, they call the vril, they let this shit penetrate your left eye. And now this shit go to your ocular system and sit back and start to make a home inside of your brain. Okay? So when they call you the reptilian brain, that's what it is. So now you become that entity. So now you're no longer a person, because that maggot take over your consciousness. Since you don't get rid of it, now it control your mentality. It control your behavior. So now what? You're no longer human. So now what? You're no longer human. Now what happened? You doing shit like an animal. You are aggressive. You do shit that is unbelievable. You want to eat flesh because that entity is feeding off your flesh. So it only makes sense you want to do what that entity do, because you're no longer human now. So you start doing shit as parasite, because the parasite lived on you to survive. So now you want to live on other people to survive. This is why you hear some horrendous shit happen to other people. You hear that person did this to kids. You hear that person did that to other people, because they no longer human anymore. This parasite take over their body, and that is your reptilian, my G. Okay, we have exactly. You know how many movies they put out like that? Countless of movie. That is your reptilian, not what you think it is. More like a parasite. Okay, so we just gonna clear this joint out for people, because you know there's too long people living in the lies. Okay, this is after a surgery. They remove one from someone completely head. Look at how it look like. You see that? It's after they remove one from someone. That's how it looked like. After they remove it. Okay, so definitely this is the back of it. When they remove it from you, this is after surgery. They open it because they have to cut the top. When they remove the top, what it look like? A freaking entity. Yes, sir. Because it's been feeding into the human flesh. which is your brain. This is why they gave you a Ninja Turtle. This is Kang. If anybody watched Ninja Turtle, you remember the brain? This is Kang. That's what you're looking at. That's where they create the characters from. Look at the way it look. This is Kang. That's why they show you Kang was inside of a tank. The chest person of a tank. He was no longer inside of someone. So now what? You're no longer human.
Shout out to the Angry Chief for that knowledge. Man, is that a reptilian? It sounds like it. It looks like one. And if we go back to that picture, reptilian. Is this a real reptilian? Y'all thoughts below. Are parasites reptilians? Y'all let me know. We gotta figure this out together. Oh my God.
Kang was inside of a tank. The chest person of a tank. He was no longer inside of someone head. Krang, right? Krang, yeah, not Kang, Krang, yeah. Thank you. There you have it. Yo, listen here, man. This is a knowledge of a trillion, y'all. Get the like, get it to 150, man. Get it to 150, man. This is what Ben Carson would not tell you, because you know that's the agenda. The agenda is clear, man. You know, you cannot tell the people the truth to evolve humanity. You got to keep people out there flying and thinking and talking nonsense and make us really think like all the nonsense and all of this dumb shit. Nah, dog. None of this shit is really happening.
Dang, y'all boy Ben really commented under it. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. We are humanity, and we are way much more greater than what they are trying to say, man. Okay? So, again, this is the spliced creature, just to remind you, just like I show you this is a spliced entity that we want to call reptilian today, but they have nothing to do with our problems. They want to put all problems on them. And the reason why they put all problems on them is because you could never see them. So it's obvious. So if you can never get to them, all you got to do is say it's them. So therefore, everybody going to keep wishing, and you know you will never find evidence and proof for it. So that's the thing, when in reality it's not them. And this is the further proof that we've been genetically splicing on Earth. And look at the evolution. It's in the Wall of Egypt. There you go, right there. Evolving from a monkey to a person. So this is what Ben Carson, Ben probably know. I'm pretty sure he knows about that. And he just chose to keep humanity at loss. Okay? and then we destroyed the fake narrative, man. I just hope now everybody that in this live, and I don't think I'm going to do a live like that again, but I think I covered all facets for you. It's crystal clear. This is pretty much the nonsense. We cover it all, and it's all about humanity, man. It's always been us, okay? It's us. So if we want to see a better world, only us can change and make the world a better place for all of us, okay? So now, this is Kang was inside of a tank.
I don't know about the evolution part, but it did look like something was up. Y'all got to drop y'all thoughts below on that. Jesus. Man, what a ride. If you didn't know, we're in dark waters officially. Man. Parasites, real reptilians. Man, we went through there on that, man.
I wanted to talk to you guys today about vril. So I see a lot of different people using the word, and very few of them are using it correctly. So it is my understanding that vril is life force energy. We have a word for it called chi, prana. It's essentially life force energy that resides within everything. Pleiadians call it vril, the Lyran descended peoples call it vril, the Anunnaki call it vril. Pretty much the entire galaxy calls this concept the word vril. And its symbol is what we call the Ankh, although they call it vril. And so throughout history, we've had this concept of energy, and the Ankh is the symbol for it, be given to certain peoples, and I think just through trickling down, it's come to mean different things to these peoples who maybe didn't quite understand it when they had, you know, these extraterrestrial beings conveying these concepts to them. But on other planets, like particularly planet Era, which is where my spirit guide Brayna is from, they have pyramids. By the way, pyramids are energy harnessing mechanisms. So they have pyramids everywhere, and they have crystals in the pyramids, and the crystals in the shape of the pyramid pull free energy out of the ether of the air, and they harness it with the crystals, and that's Vril. That's what Vril is, and that's what they use the pyramids for. They're like energy generators, and they pull free energy out of the air, and that's how they power their cities. In Era, planet Era, there are even buildings and temples and even pyramids that have the Ankh symbol on it as a representation of this concept of Vril. So, the more you know. I wanted to talk to you guys today about Vril.
I've never, out of all my time on these dark waters, I have never heard someone say Vril is energy. I'm starting to think maybe she might be the Vril trying to steer us off the wrong.
All 3 of the videos that I posted on Doja Cat were not sticking, so let's just do this here. A few months ago, I spoke to you about Doja Cat and how her aura has now turned black color. Now, for some people, black indicates protection. It could indicate rituals, magic, but in Doja Cat's aura, I felt that there were spirits that were demonic, goetic spirits that were trying to get in her auric field and actually had permission to be there. Fast forward to yesterday, I did another reading on Doja Cat, and I see that she is fully infected by the Vril. And if you guys don't know what the Vril is a parasite that comes from the underground. It is a lower ranking species that has part in the Anunnaki. And if you don't know what the Anunnaki is, they are said to be what we are controlled by, allegedly. So I figured I'd give you 2 pictures, one before she got super famous and one recent. Tell me what you guys feel in her eyes. All 3 of the videos that I posted on Doja Cat were not sticking, so let's just do this here. A few months
I never heard a song by this woman. I don't know what she looks like before and after. This is my first time seeing a before and after. I wouldn't even know what her name is. I wanted to go over the black goo because I feel like it's appropriate that we connect the dots. With the black goo, the Vril, is this a completely different species, the black goo, compared to the Vril? I don't know. And I appreciate y'all. Let's dive even deeper on this.
Are there things we don't know that maybe we will never know? And that's the enigma of Antarctica. It is truly one of the most curious, inhospitable, and unworldly-like places in the world. Here is New Schwabenland. This is an actual map. This area also has, like the dry valleys, an area where no ice accumulates. They call these spots oases. German soldiers even growing their own crops in the summer. This is the presumed location of Base 211, the New Berlin base. Over 100 U-boats in the Wolf convoy, the Führer's convoy, the largest U-boats, which may have shepherded out all of the craft that was being worked on in Germany at the Skoda Works, which is now Czech Republic.
Wow, look at this. That is fascinating. Nobody makes it like that no more. You're just going to put what is that, a light? And you're going to put a statue on top of the light? Who does that anymore?
The Allies and the Russians, they didn't find any of the craft. Could be that they went right here to those mountains, this protected area. This is where Operation High Jump was coming. A 6-month expedition led by our Admiral Byrd, and he said that we may be confronting an enemy that can fly pole to pole at incredible speeds. Operation High Jump was confronted with craft that came out of the water and that had some kind of laser that sliced one of our destroyers called the USS Murdoch in half. And the flyover of Washington, D.C., the famous crafts, most researchers would agree that those were craft that came out of Antarctica. Something under the ice, an airstrip, what looks like snowmobile tracks, some trails, maybe even some people walking around it. And now this is what you'll find today. The coordinates are exactly where the German Conan base is. And also all around Antarctica, as I was looking for discs under the ice, you can find them. You can find some of these strange anomalies that look very much like some kind of disc. And now you have what could be pyramids. And I've located 3 areas of pyramids. So, potential for an alien base? Yes, there is very compelling Google Earth pictures of what looks like this. So the question is, are they ours or are they theirs? Well, these are some other interesting ones. Are these artifacts or these could be real? These look very much like the step pyramids of Saqqara. And nature doesn't really do anything in these kind of perfect right angles. Appears to have been crafted by an intelligent people. The Argentinians had set up a base here and were working out of here. And this is where supposedly the black goo comes from. What is the black goo? Well, it is this AI substance that can be used to rapidly clone any life form. It was brought to Earth by a benevolent ET group shortly after the Toba eruption 74,000 years ago. The idea was that we were very susceptible to a takeover. So the black goo was brought to Earth and stored. The black goo was taken back to the UK. It got loose. It could be that it's taken on new forms. If it's AI, it has some kind of intelligence of its own. Are there things?
An AI symbiote like Venom? Like a Venom symbiote that's AI? These discs going all across America? That's interesting. Guys, you gotta drop your comments below. Tell me what you think about that one. Oh my God. Are they aliens? Or are they us? On some top secret, classified type stuff. I don't know. We might have to dive into this black goo.
The little pictures from the microscope. This is German rain. And if you want to know what this liquid does, you can have a look at it in the lab. When you have bigger amounts of it, it looks like this. It's a liquid crystal. This liquid is self-organizing physically. And this, at the moment, is sleeping. It's not aware of being observed, it's quiet. Sometimes when it doesn't like to be observed, it might jump out of the pot straight into your face. If you have 2 of those in one room, get them 5 meters close to each other, they stare at each other, then they decide that they want to be united.
Do it. Let's see a demonstration.
And then they start to pull. It's like magnetism, but it's intelligent. And when they realize that you hold them within the vessel and they cannot escape, they get angry and start to shake the vessel and try to break through the wall. Because they know once they are through, they can flow over the ground and unite to a bigger unit. This is something you can just observe in the lab. And especially this liquid was extracted from those black stones. This is World War II leftovers. We found them in an underground facility in Bavaria, 1/2 ton of it. So we can imagine that the SS processed quite a bit of this. And I guess that the guys found also the technology to extract the oil from it. Must have been there in written form because they did it in the lab successfully. If you look at those stones, you have a brief history of things reported out of former times. You have, if you look at H.P. Lovecraft, the descriptions of the black magic communities in Eastern Europe. They had kind of sculptures out of this black oil schist, and once a year they went there, demons out of the stone, sacrificing to communicate and get the service from the demons. This is one thing mentioned. If you go back in history, you find them in the Kaaba in Mecca, the same form of phallus-shaped structure that is described in Vedic script as Shiva's lingam, that is described in this Lovecraft script. A fragment of it is part of a central part of the Kaaba.
They said the Book of Shiva or something told him to do that? Oh, that is disturbing.
The black goo has existed for a while. As you can see here, that has been used by ancient Egyptians for the coffins. It has also been used across movies and media, as shown in the next few slides. Prometheus shows a really interesting concept of how this black goo became involved with aliens and humanity. Deepwater Horizon is based on a true story, and this has affected many people, affected our Earth, and it continues to do so. Let me explain why. What is black goo? According to the British Museum, it is plant oil, animal fat, tree resin, beeswax, and bitumen, a mix of all of these oils, these different ingredients, which is a solid crude oil. I like to think that oil is a sentient being because it poisons our environment. It can even poison our blood, like how humans, our red blood cells are sentient. We are sentient beings. Do you think that oil can be considered as sentient beings? Looking deeply at the ingredients, when it said tree resin, I see that trees are obviously sentient beings. They're alive. But here's what it says. Tree resin is a liquid that trees produce in response to injury, which hardens to a brittle solid. Trees heal people. Trees has that energy of healing, right? But bitumen is made from living things like plants, animals, and single-celled organisms that have died and been compressed over millions of years. Knowing all of that, of what contains in the black goo, I see that it can also be a way to use for our modern society, especially with AI growing. It can also be provided to AI technologies in any shape or form, however people use it. It could be in a form of powder, gas, who knows? And I see this to be almost becoming true, not really a conspiracy theory anymore, honestly. And this is a way that they can use to control people, control certain things. In Prometheus, you see this black goo be mixed with the human DNA and it creates an alien. Looking at a spiritual basis, the black goo, or also known as black tar, is seen as a negative entity. Especially if seeing your visions, your dreams, it's like foreshadowing something bad may happen. You see a black goo sticking to you. It's like trapping you, not allowing you to move or expand your consciousness. It's hindering you from something. This is what the black goo in all the Hollywood movies and the major news, especially with oil, is showing how it affects humanity, the animals. It traps them, it kills them. It's like a disease basically, and which is why I say that this black goo is like a sentient being. You consider oil to be a sentient being. I saw a lot of patterns of how black goo was in many different movies. It shows how Hollywood, the elites already know this. It's already part of our society and plan, and it is also a threat to humanity. This is an article by Wire, and it introduces how graphene was found 10 years ago and it is now used daily. It's in our phone. If you continue reading this article, which I recommend you do, you will see how black goo is growing. It's going to be in our AI industry. It's going to be everywhere around us. It's already shown in movies, in TV shows, in music videos too, so it's not surprising surprising if it starts showing up in AI, if it starts being included into the AI or anything that is here to control us. There is already science and research-based fact that the goo is real. It's already in our oil systems. It's shown that it affects humans, our earth, and with the oil disaster that happened at Deepwater Horizon and also across other countries too, it's growing, and it's almost as if it's making our population die. This is all harmful shit that can kill you. Whether you think this is a conspiracy theory or not, it's up to you to do your research and find the truth to what we're learning, to what is being hidden. This is not just some spiritual science bullshit. It's becoming very real, and it's affecting, threatening humanity. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's create a discussion. Follow for more to learn about spirituality and the mysteries of our world. The black...
Man, if that black goo finds out how to form with mycelium, it's over. It's going to be Terminator organic style. Can you imagine a Terminator, but it's all organics? Man. That is going to be a problem. Yikes. Let me know your thoughts below on that.
So what you're seeing here is the real black goo. Yeah. Well, seems like it is intelligent, right? Programmable and magnetic. Leaked footage. Think of the possibilities with this goo, slimy, intelligent black goo. This is going to blow your mind. For medical advices, ready for transport mission. It looks very impressive. Release. And on top of that, it has a self-healing capability. Look at this now. It's cutting it, and then turns back. It's here again. And it can pass many kind of obstacles, different surfaces, underwater, in the air, through glass tubes. Can use this black goo for different kind of terrain. Black goo. So what?
That narrator was on something, but man, you see it's moving, it's combining, it's everybody, it looks like it has a validity, what everyone's saying, for entertainment purposes only. This entire video, for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. But it looks like it may have some validity, man.
This mysterious black substance appears to have a life of its own. The video was shared on social media, demonstrating how the blob seems to be attracted to a metal ring, moving of its own free will toward the ring. As the metal ring is moved around the plate, the black goo appears to be attracted to it. Next, the person takes out a credit card and uses it to cut the object in half. As he does this, the two pieces immediately move toward each other and meld together to form one single piece again. Some viewers believe it could be nanotechnology, others think it is reminiscent of the movie, The Blob.
Guys, this black goo stuff is real, for entertainment purposes only. This isn't CGI.
This mysterious black substance.
This is not CGI. Let me know your thoughts below. And they trying to incorporate this with AI? We're going to be fighting Venom. Armies of Venom out here, man. Oh, it just hit me. What if that's what the giant bells were for? All these bells they trying to get rid of? Think about it. What could stop Venom? Vibrations. The bells. What if all these cathedrals and bells was warding off all these giant black glue? Y'all tell me what's really going on.
So one thing like that.
It looks like they just found this out in the wild too. It's not like they making it, like they finding remnants of this stuff. Look at, they speak a different language. They probably didn't make this, they just ran into this off a rock or something.
So one thing like that.
Look at that thing, man. That thing crazy. A blood clot.
Witnessing right now the first generation of mutated humans. Okay, we're in the timeline right now where we're seeing the first generation of mutated human DNA, where it's going to be leading to that timeline of humans devolving and mutating into becoming the Greys. Okay, a lot of us think Greys are aliens, but they're not really aliens. The Grey is an offshoot of what has happened in this collective right now as a result of this experimental gene therapy that's being imposed on the collective consciousness. And you're seeing right now the first generation of the mutation is happening amongst the human collective. Over time, as this mutation continues, the human body, the human DNA is going to continue to devolve. This is the reason why now the Greys look the way they do, is because it's a mutation of the original human DNA and them devolving, and they have selectively, exchanged certain DNA in preference of other DNA. So the Greys prefer to be more intellectual, more logical. This is the reason why they have massive heads, and they're very intellectual, and they have very strong psychic and mental capabilities, telepathy, psychic abilities. Everything relates to the mind, but when it comes to their heart and empathy, their race has turned off that heart chakra. They have deactivated all feelings, all compassion, all love, because they view that as being a hindrance to their race. So,
man, I'm gonna let her finish, but man, I be feeling that at the grocery store, man. You just be in the grocery store, like, excuse me, sir, and then people, they'll just give you that look. I'm like, what's wrong with that dude, man? It's like straight NPCs, like they ain't got no type of spirit in them, man. I just be, excuse me, sir, I'm just trying to grab my chocolate milk. Excuse me, just trying to get by. You know what I'm saying? They just be. I'd be like, damn, what's wrong with them? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, these NPCs, these hybrid black goo, alien Greys, gene therapy, they out here, man. Keep your head on a swivel.
So we see a race where it's very imbalanced in the heart and in the mind. So as a result of being very imbalanced in these two energy, you have what you have right now with the Greys. So now we're witnessing the birth of the first generation of mutated humans. They already have these completely black eyes, no longer looking like human, very abnormal, very strange. We don't know what's going to be happening to them in terms of their mental intelligence and their emotional intelligence, but now you see with your own eyes.
Black goo is witnessing right now the first generation of mutated humans. And what if all these Greys in the past was just the result of gene therapy back in the day? And they just out here still producing however they produce and flying around, hiding underground for entertainment purposes only. You better not come for me.
This is a black goo swarm. If you're having trouble believing this is real, see the videos in the description.
There's no way this is a black goo swarm.
Power Rangers 1995. Ivan Ooze. Oh, I'm gonna show you.
but they specifically found a portal which looked like a sewer. Remember, they thought I was crazy for the sewer video when I gave y'all the hint where water falls. This is gonna put 3-4 connections together at once. Oh, it's gonna be nice. Your portal in New York City.
Man, I love that movie. Power Rangers. I think that was the first Power Rangers movie ever to happen. Man, I was in the theater with my white saber, you know what I'm saying? White Ranger saber. Man, I love that. Rest in peace, Tommy, man. Damn. I forgot all about that. R.I.P. Tommy, man, the Green Ranger. That was my hero growing up.
Incredible. What do you think it is? No.
They always put it in our movies. I was 2 years old at the time.
You want to think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ooze. You remember that slime that changed the Ninja Turtles? That was straight off the movie, wasn't it? I'm telling you, man, this ooze, there's something to it, man. There's something to it.
Okay guys, please excuse my voice. I am battling a cold. If you have not heard of graphene oxide or black goo, you need to look it up. Now, as you do look it up, you're going to run into things, especially if you Google it. You're going to run into things like Snopes and fact-check sites that are going to deny that it's in the vaccines. But it has been proven that it is in all of them, and I will show proof at the end of this video. Interestingly, in 1988, Marvel created a character named Venom, the amorphous liquid-like form who survives by bonding with the host, usually human. This dual life form receives enhanced powers and usually refers to itself as Venom. What are the odds it's Venom, like a snake, like a reptilian? The jabs not only are messing with the DNA as in the days of Noah, but they are messing with the DNA using graphene, which, if you look up the physics of the whole thing, even has quantum capabilities. That's supernatural capabilities. It's crazy. Okay, guys, please excuse my voice.
Venom was literally one of my favorite characters on Marvel. Like, Venom, he was tight. He used to shoot his webs off his wrist. He didn't used to do all that. You know, he shot it from the top of his wrist. You know, strong, picking up cars. We are Venom. You know, when that movie came out, they had Eminem on the soundtrack. That was tight. Get this Venom. Ain't gonna know it hit him. This Venom. I'll play it right now if I could. They ain't gonna know what hit him. That Venom. Venom. Y'all gotta watch it. If you haven't seen Venom, go watch it. And then they got the new one. And they got my boy Carnage in there, played by Woody Harrelson. I think that's his name, man. I need to go back and watch that, man. Huge fan of Marvel, man. Marvel been slacking these last decade, man. But ever since Winter Soldier and Endgame, I really ain't been tapping into Marvel like that. But I'll go back and watch Venom 1 and 2 quick. Winter Soldier, now that I know that my boy Bucky, they straight MK Ultra'd my boy Buck. What? Man, they was trying to tell us.
Is the black goo that the engineers drink the same as the black liquid on LV223? Official definitions clarify that black goo is referred to as chemical A03959X15, indicating that the black colloid used by the engineers to create humans is not the same as the black goo found on LV223. From David's lab, we learned that the black goo is a form of nano-AI, functioning at a microscopic level. This suggests that the black goo may be the engineer's core weapon. Various sources suggest that the black goo is essentially an electronic virus created by the engineers, designed to infect all non-plant life. It either kills animals immediately or turns them into hybrid vessels. The black goo can modify the host's genes and, through cloud computing, integrate with the host's genetic advantages to reconstruct a species related to the host. The newly formed species are what we call xenomorphs, with each one representing a form of super-evolution for the host. Moreover, varying amounts of black goo lead to drastically different outcomes. An appropriate amount infecting a human can turn a man into a zombie-like creature. Women indirectly infected by these men may gestate trilobite-like creatures in their abdomens. Large quantities of black goo airdropped to humans would lead to immediate death, as the dosage exceeds the human body's limits. From these reactions, the original purpose of creating the black goo was for breeding and evolution. Is the black goo that the engineers drink the same as the black
Want to see something crazy on some alien predator type stuff? I've been saving this one in my back pocket, waiting for the right time to release it. But you think this black goo is a joke? You think alien isn't real? Look at this picture. Look at that. They try to tell us that these are ancient crustaceans or some type that happened millions and millions of years ago. What if these are those real things that launched that the aliens were using? Look at this. You guys see this, right? Face hugger, that's what it's called. What if these face huggers are real? Look at these face huggers. Look at this. Now look at this. Nobody's talking about this because I seen this for the first time, and as soon as I seen it, I never really got into the alien movies like that. I only watched Prometheus and probably Alien vs Predator. That was it. Now I'm gonna go back and rewatch all of them. But check this out. What if these face huggers was real back in the day and they're what these things are? Y'all tell me. For entertainment purposes only. I had this one in my back pocket for a minute, and what better time to release it? They try to tell us that these things are like ancient fossils, but if you actually find one fully intact, look at its legs. Look at the legs on them things. This is what it was. Let me know y'all thoughts below. Ain't nobody else gonna tell you this. They ain't gonna put this correlation together, I guarantee it. Your boy found this, man. This all the darkness is coming straight to the light. There's nothing new under the sun. Alien was based on a true movie. Alien was based on a true story. There.
This mysterious fortress, perched atop a lofty slope, is cleverly hidden behind deep gorges, making it almost invisible to the casual observer. Even the locals have little knowledge of its historical origin. The meaning and design of the fortress were uncovered only thanks to the knowledge of an 80-year-old resident named Ho June. His intimate understanding of the area played a key role in discovering the paths leading to this historic site. This fortress, known as the Heijin City Fortress, is extremely difficult to see from a distance, blending in smoothly with the surrounding terrain, making it a perfect hideaway. This mysterious...
Damn, the Heijin City Fortress? That is interesting. like some type of ancient structure. They said, do you believe in ancient stargates? I believe in ancient technology, and I believe it took it to craft something like this. This is definitely no type of natural formation. Like the ancient Legos they was probably stacking or something. There's no way we would have heard about that if we seen something like this.
The first known ancient civilization was called the Sumerians. They existed over 6,000 years ago, a millennium before the Egyptians. The Sumerians believed in deities known as the Anunnaki, who were described as children of the earth and sky. Some researchers believe that the ancient Sumerians possessed a sophisticated understanding of the universe. Artifacts depict the solar system with
I believe this is a giant psyop, but I'm gonna let them continue.
planets orbiting the sun. Intriguingly, these depictions often feature figures carrying strange, ancient handbags and watches. The Sumerians' list of inventions is truly impressive. They not only created the wheel, but also developed the alphabet. The calendar they devised is still used today. Furthermore, they created irrigation systems for farming and established the concepts of time, including seconds, minutes, and hours. Some believe that this knowledge was bestowed upon them. It does seem that the first civilization was also one of the most advanced ones, which doesn't exactly fit with modern-day explanations of our history. The first
How did they do this? Right here. These are the casing stones on the Menkaure Pyramid, the littlest one on the Giza Plateau. It used to look like the top of the Great Pyramid. They used a technique that is still a mystery to this day. It's called polygonal masonry. It looks like the stone was smoothed out or cut like butter. And we see this everywhere that there are ancient sites we don't know how to explain, even Japan. Method uses no mortar, massive stones. It's pretty much earthquake proof. And it's so precise you can't even fit a credit card in between the stones when they're linked together. We still don't know how to do this today, and it's been shoved under the rug by mainstream archaeology since its discovery. Now, people from a wide array of disciplines, including construction and engineering, are taking a look at the micro precision and the macro precision that we see in all of these artifacts, and the narrative is starting to collapse. If this kind of thing captivates you, I have a brand new series if you go to my profile, or it's linked in this video, where I go over 118 of these sites and anomalies around the planet that we can't really explain. It's in a brand new interactive ebook. Check it out if you...
Polygonal masonry, is that what he said? Yeah, they had some type of technology we cannot use. What? Why did they cover the faces? Why did they cover the faces? That is fascinating. Look at the sphere. That's not your average rock formation. This looks like a giant helmet of some sort. Very interesting.
In the mountains of southwest Colombia lies a mysterious tunnel built into the mountainside that has been around for as long as locals can remember. The locals of this area believe that it was built by the ancient people trying to hide their gold.
14 perhaps.
And has anybody made a serious attempt? Here's a cross right here. Has anybody made a serious attempt to like try and figure this out? I mean, this was a massive effort, whoever did this.
Yeah, not really. I mean, this property is actually owned by a German family.
Other theories are that this was built after the Spanish arrived in Colombia. For what purpose? No one is sure. The peak of this mountain above the tunnel has a curious pyramid shape, and it's well known and visited by the locals. I've traveled all around South America visiting oddities just like this. Please give me a follow.
Fascinating. There's so many different mysteries, so much ancient structures throughout the world, man. It's just fascinating.
Archaeologists have unearthed a remarkable discovery during excavations in the ancient Egyptian city of Budo. The ancient city, now called Tel El Farahin, has been excavated since 2018, and in 2022, they found a new structure. As they slowly uncovered the structure that they initially believed was an ancient temple, they found intriguing artifacts, inscriptions, and symbols decorating the building which represented the eternal sun, gods of time, and astronomy. When they uncovered a large sundial, they realized they had discovered Egypt's first and largest known observatory. The L-shaped building is 9,150 square feet and featured a sloping shadow clock to track the sun's position throughout the day. Among the artifacts discovered in the building was a meerkat which tracked time overnight. The observatory dates to the 6th century BCE and was constructed during a tumultuous period during late Egypt as foreign rulers became dominant in the region. Archaeologists have...
That kind of reminds me of that sunken city, Heraklion. You guys don't know about Heraklion? I could be saying it wrong. Heraklion? But it's basically a hidden city that was like this ancient seaport off the coast of Africa. Very interesting. Super huge back in the day. Wow. Drop your comments in below. Look at how huge they were.
I've heard from people in the Pentagon that the buzzword in the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning, and that's what they're referring to, that whole area that Peter.
Wow! Can you repeat that again, just in case anybody missed it? The buzzword
in the Pentagon, and the military circles that are in the know about the cover up here, they kind of in whisper tones talk about the return of the Sumerian gods. And they're talking about the what we would call aliens or fallen angels returning into the Middle East, into Old Sumer area.
The Anunnaki.
Well, could be. I've heard.
You won't believe this, but in a remote gorge of Afghanistan, in the mountains at an altitude of 2,400 meters near the Jirirud River, stands the Jam Minaret. This mysterious tower, 65 meters tall, is known to few. The tower is renowned for its well-preserved, perfectly symmetrical decorations. Interestingly, the tower has no entrances, but inside it contains two spiral staircases, one leading up and the other down. What lies below is shrouded in secrecy, but a private expedition of archaeologists managed to delve into the depths of this structure. What they found left everyone in shock. The Jam Minaret, already an architectural marvel due to its intricate designs and hidden staircases, concealed an even greater mystery beneath its foundations. The archaeologists discovered a hidden chamber deep below the tower, filled with artifacts and manuscripts that could rewrite history.
Our world has more secrets than you think. Read our book. Link in profile bio.
Look at this structure. It almost makes you think, how did they construct something like this and they didn't have any cranes back in the day? That is wild.
Buzz Aldrin went down there to Antarctica and he made a tweet which got screenshotted and saved by thousands of people, thankfully, before it got deleted the next day. He said that there's people down here that were meeting that were facing the ultimate evil, and they took him to meet somebody that he calls the Master. He said that we have a new enemy that can fly from pole to pole with extreme speed. Why would he make a statement like that? And there's an entire advanced civilization there, including some of the largest pyramids on Earth, right in Antarctica. Some type of exotic energy was draining his batteries on his cameras. He had to try 3 times to get this thing recorded properly. He said exotic energy. The #1 place in the world for technology research is right down there in Antarctica. I believe that as the ice is melting, they're finding remnants of an ancient civilization. We know that Antarctica was not a frozen tundra. These guys are pretty shaken up, you know. You know that from how hard it is for them to talk about what happened, that they went through something. It's pretty clear to see that something happened that affected them in a way that they'll probably never be the same again. Buzz Aldrin went down there.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin. Yeah, Buzz Aldrin. He always looks like, you know, he's got a secret that he can't say. Every time you hear him talk, he's like double questioning every single thought he's having. You could just see his mind running before he says something, man. There's definitely stuff he can't talk about.
This world is not what you have been told. Have you ever wondered why? This world is not what you have been told. Have you ever wondered why all these unexplainable ancient structures are built on the Earth's energy grid? The explanation stems from the emerald tablets of Thoth, who was also known as Idris, Enoch, Hermes, Metatron, or Quetzalcoatl. In these tablets, Thoth mentions a technology called stargates many, many times. He explains that they enabled him to travel instantaneously between various locations on Earth and even to other worlds. And this is how these stargates worked. The stargates use Earth's energy grid, a network of natural energy lines that crisscross the planet. By aligning the stargates with these energy lines, Thoth could tap into a limitless source of power, enabling instantaneous travel. These energy lines are now called ley lines to hide their true power. But it gets even crazier. Look at all these ancient sites. They all lie on stargate locations. This is because Thoth built every single one. He traveled the globe spreading spiritual wisdom, advanced technology, and profound astronomical knowledge. This is also how every site aligns with constellations or celestial objects. Thoth was known by many names in different cultures because he used these stargates to travel and build sites. Do you think Thoth built more sites on other planets? This world...
No, I don't think he built it on other planets because we can't go to other planets. And no, I do not think Thoth was Enoch. I believe that Enoch was Enoch. Thoth could have been a creation from the Watchers, the fallen angels, and he was trying to spread heresy. That's what I believe. But that's just my thoughts. But that's just my take on it. Do your own research on everything. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. Do I believe stargates are possible? Yes. Do I believe ley lines are possible? Yes. But Thoth being Enoch, that's borderline disrespectful.
As the Predators began to establish their hierarchies following the deployment of the bioweapon by the engineers on their home world, variations emerged in their mutations. Some Predators retained smaller statures yet maintained significant strength and durability. Conversely, others grew to towering heights, reaching 10 to 12 feet. Despite their size, the smaller predators faced notable disadvantages in their culture compared to the larger ones. Unlike humans, they exhibited remarkable speed powered by fast twitch muscle fibers, enabling explosive movements without sacrificing stamina. Amidst these dynamics, one predator stood out, a colossal figure destined to become the reigning king among them all. Adult males commence their journey as members of the hunter class, proficiently capable of killing prey of similar size or smaller. Advancement through the ranks led to the elite hunter class, distinguished by successfully engaging and defeating xenomorphs in battle, marking their face and helmets with the blood symbol and amassing a wealth of trophies. Achieving elite status required exceptional skill and experience, surviving centuries granting a predator the esteemed title of an ancient or elder. Elders played a crucial role in predator society, serving as advisors and, if desired, establishing and leading their own clans. Their significance lay in passing down hunting techniques and wisdom, empowering new hunters and mastering the art of battle with lethal efficiency. The deadly reputation of the predators stemmed from this legacy of transmitting hunting knowledge through the generations, never lost and adapted over millennia. Then there's the king, revered as the grand elder among the predators. Towering in stature, the king possessed not only physical prowess, but also strategic brilliance in waging wars against other races. Only the king held the authority to mobilize the predators for conflicts with other species, his tactical genius guiding their endeavors. The king's legendary reputation extended beyond his leadership. He had personally vanquished hundreds of xenomorphs and even claimed victory over a queen xenomorph. Uniquely, he fashioned his throne from the skeletal remains of the conquered queen, a testament to his triumph over these deadly adversaries. Each prospective new king was obligated to engage in a harrowing challenge, the simultaneous conquest of a xenomorph queen and the reigning king. This daunting task signified not only their readiness for leadership, but also mandated the creation of a new skeletal throne. Only by vanquishing a queen and the current ruler could the successor claim their place on the regal seat.
This is what we're gonna have to do, y'all. I see the dreads and it makes sense now. We gotta turn into these predators, man, because this black goo getting out of control. We gotta be hitting our cloaking devices. We gotta get our Wolverine on. We gotta do something. We just can't let this black goo take over, y'all.
Ensuring the continuation of the predator legacy through a cycle of fearsome rulers. Adding to his accolades, the king possessed the skull of an engineer, an exceedingly rare feat considering engineers' elusiveness and their ability to dispatch predators with minimal effort. The first king not only orchestrated the initial counterattack against the engineers, but also...
This lore goes deep. Engineer skull? I gotta hear this. It's interesting, y'all. We gotta hear this.
Mastered the art of utilizing xenomorph queens on Earth. These deadly creatures became instrumental in the predator initiation process, enabling new hunters to ascend the ranks and continue the legacy. Before ascending to the role of the king, he embarked on a solitary mission tracking engineers that led him to the distant planet LV-223. In the annals of Prometheus, this planet served as a temple for the engineers, housing the final iteration of the perfected black goo. The question arose, why designate a temple, and what engendered the engineers' profound reverence for this enigmatic substance. To unravel this mystery, we journey back in time, examining the engineer interactions with primordial Earth, where only water, mountains, and scant grass existed. We deduce that this ancient species dates back at least 460 million years, if not more. The black goo, originally a fungus developed for self-protection against non-botanical life, played a pivotal role in the engineers' evolution. It is postulated that the engineers discovered a planet with no mammalian life and found this unique fungus, leveraging their mastery of bioengineering to modify it for personal enhancement. Remarkably, they achieved physical augmentation, growing larger and stronger without sacrificing intellectual prowess. However, the one unresolved facet remained their heightened aggression, an attribute they couldn't mitigate. This unresolved aggression manifested in their hostile disposition towards other life forms. This narrative aligns seamlessly with the engineers' speculative homeworld on Planet 4, where a distinct group of engineers, smaller in size and possessing different eyes, abstained from genetic enhancement. In contrast, the genetically altered space jockeys or pilots ventured forth to conquer worlds, securing resources and technology for their civilization. Although rumored to have a concealed residence and their own society on another undisclosed planet, the specifics of this location remain shrouded in secrecy. Stealthily venturing into LV-223, the king embarked on a reconnaissance mission to discern the engineer activities. Cloaked and moving silently, he came upon the chamber housing the vials. Scanning the room, his gaze fell upon a mural depicting a deacon, a subject of significant importance to the engineers. The king, in his covert exploration, discovered coordinates detailing the ship's intended destination Earth. Shockingly, the engineers weren't merely planning to eradicate humans, they intended to employ the pathogen to breed the ultimate killing machines. These lethal creatures were to be unleashed on Predator Prime and other worlds resisting their conquest, cementing their ruthless campaign across the cosmos. Aware of the engineer plan, the king proceeded to sabotage the temple, unleashing the pathogen fatal to all engineers on the planet. As he prepared to depart, he confronted an engineer in a final showdown. Removing his helmet, he carefully set it down, activating the recording function. Adhering to his personal code, the king engaged in combat armed only with a spear for the first kill, a testament to his skill in hand-to-hand combat. In this confrontation, the king emerged victorious, albeit bearing numerous fractures and contusions. After following his customary ritual, any secondary encounter saw him swiftly dispatch any adversary deemed worthy in combat, leaving no room for games. The king's trophies would often remain oblivious to their demise, unaware that they had fallen prey to him. His unparalleled stealth and cunning allowed him to strike without leaving a trace. Upon returning to Predator Prime, the king unveiled the engineer's nefarious scheme to his people, articulating a plan involving a visit to Earth. Utilizing the vial to infect humans, they willingly sacrificed themselves to entities they deemed as gods. The Predator temples constructed on Earth served a dual purpose, preparing predators for potential xenomorph invasions and imparting essential hunting skills to these ultimate killers, the xenomorphs. The elaborate strategy unfolded as a symbiotic alliance, where the predators capitalized on human reverence to fortify their own strengths and readiness against future extraterrestrial threats. Why was the pilot's DNA so special? The altered black goo or fungus in their blood granted them the extraordinary ability to create distinct forms of life. Humans share nearly 50% of their DNA with fungi, highlighting the interconnectedness of life. Contrary to the belief that the engineers came to Earth to seed it with life, their true purpose was to undergo a sacred ritual of self-sacrifice. Having conquered death, they established a maximum lifespan of 150 years. Beyond this, they embraced the ritualistic use of the black goo, one version granting extended life and the other death, ensuring that subsequent generations could thrive. To prevent the stagnation of entrenched ideologies, the choice to perform this ritual on Earth prompts intriguing questions. Some speculate that the engineer's home could have been Planet 4, a world thought to have supported life 500 million years before Earth developed complex organisms. This theory suggests that the engineers might belong to a species 1 billion years old. This intricate interplay of sacrifice and longevity deepens the enigmatic narrative of the engineers and their ancient cosmic presence. As the engineers evolved into a Type 2 civilization, they left our solar system, driven by its tumultuous past.
I love that. That was probably one of the best lores I ever heard in my life, especially with this black goo on the uprising with AI. What if it really is turning into aliens, man? We got to be the predators out here. How cool is that? They trying to tell us and train us. Man, who knew? The Alien movies, Alien vs. Predators, based on a true story. Who knew? But that's all I got for today's video. If you made it this far, you a real one. And be sure you put the code word in the comments so I know you made it this far. The code word is stellar video. Put stellar video in the comments so I know you made it all the way through, and I appreciate you guys. I might be going live again, man. I like when we do double up. When I hit you with a video and I go live later on. But yeah, I got some huge plans coming for you guys. Just sit tight. I got huge things. Shout out to Brad, my official Dark Waters 9 research. Shout out to Brad, official Dark Waters 9 research team. I just got to give him a shout out. He's my only one. We need more people on that research team. Be sure to check out my joint memberships. I got different tiers. I call out the people on my research team and the Swivel Nines. I call out people on my team, so I just wanted to say thank you for all the support. I love you guys. Shout out Tom. Tom went crazy on my live, man. He gave away so many memberships. Congratulations to the people that did receive those memberships. You get access to members only videos, members only content. I'm trying to drop more, and you guys are going to have more perks in the future. And I'm updating the emojis and the badges themselves. So that's something to be excited for. And yeah, your boy gonna get to work, man. Get this video out to y'all and keep going. Keep the grind going, man. I appreciate you guys. I love you. God bless. See you on the next one. JetskiChucK signing out. Peace out.